Hi, this is Diane Mourglia-Swerdlow with Expansions.com and another edition of Cooking with Janet. I always have lots of interesting things to show you, and of course today is no exception, because I want you to understand what you can do, creatively speaking, because you want to always remember what you put in your mind is reflected in what you put in your body and vice versa. So I want you to learn how to feed your body nutritionally, which means that you're feeding your mind nutritionally. So for those of you who are following along in my medium green blog on the membership side, we are working diligently on getting our emotions in order. We have worked on cleaning our physical environments out, and as one person put it, now we're actually working on cleaning ourselves out. Last week I showed you how to do the juicing. I hope that you've enjoyed that and experimented a little bit, or if you don't have a juicer, that perhaps you're thinking about getting one, because this is a perfect time of year to get one. So over here I want to direct your attention to something that you might not be aware of. This is actually a product that I like called, it's gluten-free organic black bean spaghetti, and that's all it has in it is the black beans, and I just want to read here to you. It has organic black beans and water. So I want to be sure and read that to you. That's the only ingredient, so it's actually nutritional for you. And then I have another product which I use a lot. I left the price tag on here so you could see $4.29 at my health food store. This is organic mung bean fettuccine, and again the ingredients over here are organic green mung beans and water, and that's it. So these are relatively low carb. The whole package together only has about 65, 70 carbs, and a serving they say is a quarter of that, which is around 17 carbs. Well, we probably eat around 8 carbs at a time. We eat much less than that. But for those of you who perhaps are making my noodle-less lasagna or my chili con carne recipes, those kind of meat mixtures, if you want something different. I know a lot of people are raised on pasta, and so it's like a staple, and it could be difficult or challenging for you to take out of your life. And even though you may substitute it with other things, some people do the corn pasta, the rice pasta, they all do have a lot of carbs. This is lower carb, and I think it's pretty good. What I'm going to do here is show you how easy it is to do. This is actually the black bean, and again, just organic black beans and water. That's it. And once your water has come to a boil, and I'm just doing part of a package because I just want to show you, it doesn't take long. I think it says that you should boil it for about 6 or 8 minutes, but I rarely leave mine for that long. But it turns out a really nice product. So while that is cooking, I also want to show you this, which is the organic mung bean. Now, this is something that I did last night because I actually made the noodle-less lasagna. And what I did is I just put some on a plate like this, and you can spread it out, and then I put on a piece of the noodle-less lasagna on top of it, and it's good. This is a little bit rubbery. It's a little bit different taste, but it's for me it serves the purpose, and it doesn't give you that full bloated feeling when you're done. And if you, as I'm doing, you can make part of a package if you're one person, or if you make the whole package and you want to heat it up, all I do is I put a little hot water in the bottom of a skillet. I toss this in a little bit so it doesn't get soggy, and I'm ready to go. Now I also want to tell you that there's a product out that I'm aware of, and you may have heard of it. It's called something like Miracle Noodle, and I read about this. This also has no carbs, and I've never tasted it, although I've heard it's not that tasty, but it can swell up and clog your intestines. So they say be sure and drink a lot of water, do this, do that. To me, it's like a red flag. I wouldn't want to eat that, so I'm just forewarning you, if you're out there searching the internet for pastas and you come across this Miracle Noodle, read the fine print. This is just basically food. And one of the things that we're talking about is not to eat crap, because if you eat, and I'm just being very literal here, crap. If you eat crap in your food, if you eat junk food, that's meaning that you're putting crap into your mind. Why do you want it? And you're putting crap into your life experiences. You are anchoring, you're giving the opportunity for crap, non-physical crap, to anchor into your physical life. So if you're eating crap, you have to ask, why do I want to eat crap? That's why I'm putting it in that term rather than just junk food, because it's true. You know, you can eat it, it'll anchor in, and your life will reflect that back to you. So be very cognizant of what you're putting in your body. That's definitely going to tell you what your life experiences are going to be. So this is a really great alternative. Now this is really, in my opinion, it's done already. So this is the black bean, and you can see how quickly it cooked up. What I do, once I have it to the consistency that I like it, if you do it too long, remember it's going to turn to mush. I just take it, I pour it into my strainer over here, and then you can wash it off with a little bit of cold water. And then what I do after I've washed it a little bit is I just put some olive oil in the bottom of my pot so it doesn't stick. I put it right back in my pot, and with the olive oil, put it back on the stove and just, again, toss it around for a couple of minutes so it's not sticky. But again, it's up to you. You'll find out what works for you. But you can see this is not even really a quarter of the bag. And so this is about 18 carbs. And if, again, I'm going to put on the plate for you. If you take, say, half of that, if you take 7 or 8 carbs, and you put whatever you like on there, you can have some nice pasta. You can decorate it any way that you want with olive oil, garlic, vegetables, steam-fried vegetables. You can put fish in there, meat, anything you want. It's a very easy dish to do. You can put it in a thermos-type container, and you can take it to work with you and eat it. Some people like their pasta cold. You can have a cold pasta salad, but it's good. And, you know, the thing is that people think diet, I'm going to starve, I'm going to die, you know, crap food, blah, blah. Well, that's true. It is crap food, what most of the people tell you to diet. I'm telling you how to feed your body healthy so that you can not only survive, but you can thrive, and emotionally you are happy with what you're eating, which means emotionally you are happy in your life. So please always keep that in mind. So with that, that's the first thing I want to show you. So I thought you might not be aware, and I think it's interesting that you know what's out there, so you know you have choices. And sometimes you don't have the time to go out and do the research. Unfortunately, in the business that I'm in, I spend a lot of time researching for you, so you don't have to do it. So I appreciate your memberships and those things that you do for expansions.com so that we can continue doing our research and giving back to you so your life can be easier while you're busy doing other things. So next up, over here, this is my sushi station. Now, I'm going to do something different for you today because sushi is a food that some people are afraid of making, or sometimes that they think it's very high carb because of all the rice that's involved in it. And if you're watching your carbohydrates, of course, you definitely want to watch that. I want to show you how to do something that's interesting, it's fun, it's different, and it nurtures your soul, it nurtures your emotions. And don't think, please, this is the first thing I want to tell you, don't think, oh, I'm only one person, it's too much trouble. Because if that's what you think, you need to be working on your affirmations of self-worth and enhancing that, creating high self-worth. I am worth it. I'm worth making a mess. I'm worth planning for. I'm worth making something that's beautiful to eat. So remember that if you're just one person or two people, or if you're busy, I'm busy. There's nobody busier than me, I don't think. Some days it feels that way. But I make time to feed myself and my family appropriately and nutritionally because I want that good mental food. Ultimately, it's here. So with that in mind, I'm going to show you what to do that make your life fun. You want to take a clean towel, kitchen towel of some kind. This happens to be a new washcloth size. And you take a piece of plastic wrap. So you don't have to have any really fancy tools to make your sushi. And because we're medium green, this is probably more dark green, but that's okay because we're also working on releasing our past. We're going to put this on our paper. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you is kind of fun because I have cooked some brown rice. And again, I have shown you in other podcasts how to make beautiful oven brown rice. Go look it up if you haven't watched it. This is a cup. A cup has 45 carbs. And you may not want to eat 45 carbs of rice because of whatever your dietary restrictions are, or requests or requirements. So what I have done over here is I've taken some cabbage, I ran it through my food processor, I grated it up, and I'm going to mix it together. And that means I'm going to have a lot less carbs in here. So, I've just stir-fried it, steamed it a little, in a tiny, tiny bit of olive oil. And cabbage is basically carb-free. And here's my measuring cup. So if this whole bowl is 45, I'm going to put in about a half of a cup of the rice. And I am going to mix it in. Now, wild rice actually has less carbs. It only has about 35 carbs if you want to cook it. You can do this with any grain. You can do it with quinoa. You can do it with millet. So you can see it's still very nice in there. And you're going to get the nice rice flavor. You need some carbs in your diet, but you just don't need to overload and stress your system, because carbs turn into sugar, and sugar is what most people use to try and plug their emotional holes. And what we are working to teach you is to take care of yourself in such a way you don't have emotional holes anymore. So I'm going to put this on here and I'm going to spread it out. Now I'm going to add, I only want to use about half of it, because if I use half of it, this whole thing is only going to have about 10 carbs in it. So I am going to add even more cabbage. I'm just going to sprinkle it on. And this is going to be my base. Now, when you do sushi's fun. You know, it's an appetizer food. You think of it as socializing. It's fun. It's fun to eat. So I like to think about it as color. Now again, our cabbage has got some nice greens in there for you. And unfortunately, where I live, I could not get any organic cucumbers. So I am not putting cucumber in this particular one, but cucumber is something that I like to put in. You can also put in cheeses and things like that. But I do like to add my color, so I don't have any additional green. I like scallions or green onions, nice sprouts. I don't have my sprout garden going right now. So I'm going to add some orange, and this is my carrot. And it's an organic carrot. If you have a potato peeler or something similar, and I do this with my cucumbers as well. It's not going on my plate, but you get the drift here. Okay, so you can just do this, and you can get some nice veggie strips to add on. Just right down the center. And I have cut up a couple of, because I like to add the color, these are small sweet peppers. So I'm going to add a couple pieces of yellow, and I like to have the red in there. Okay. And now, this is the interesting part for you. I'm not going to put fish on. Most people think sushi with fish, and I do like fish, and I like it to make it with that way, but I'm showing you something different. I'm going to, on this one, I'm going to put some chicken down the center of it. And I've already shown you how to make my dill sauce. I'm going to put that here. Okay. And again, it's mayonnaise base. I put this out here for you. Safflower mayonnaise, cold press, and it keeps, I make a big batch of it. I put it in my refrigerator and I keep it. Now, let's see what I do. Guess I should have moved it this way a little bit. Okay. Now all you have to do is take your saran wrap and pull it over like this and start rolling. Okay. Nothing fancy. You've got a washcloth. You've got, most people have got some kind of saran wrap in their house, some kind of plastic wrap. If not, you could use wax paper. You could use another towel. Of course, if you're real fancy and you have a sushi mat. I don't. I didn't learn to do it that way, so this is the way I still do it. Okay, and then you unroll. Okay, and let me grab a plate here to put it on. We'll go back to our pasta plate. It's no longer in use. Okay, so we're going to take our roll and we're going to put it here. And the way I cut my sushi is I start in the middle. Okay, as I like to get about 8 pieces out of a roll. You can do it however you like. Okay, the idea is to be creative and to create something that is palatable, because when you look at your food, that's when your digestive process starts. And you can do a roll like this and take it for lunch, and like I said, with the amount of rice I have in there, it's only 10 carb. But this one roll is really a meal. Now look how nice that is. Okay. Now this is with chicken. And I do make sushi with fish. I do it with cooked and raw, depending on what I can find, again, in my supermarket. Okay, isn't that beautiful? Okay. Now, the next roll I show you. Now this piece of saran wrap has gotten a little messy, so I'm going to set this aside and get one of my wrappers. Okay, now you can see that it has lines that go this way because I'm going to roll it this way. I'm going to have the lines so that when I roll it, that's the way I do it. You can also do half sheets. You know, you can do lots of fancy things with sushi if you really get into it. I kind of do basic stuff, but I fool with it as I go. So here we go. Again, this is our cabbage and rice mix. I'll just put all that on. But I am going to add a little bit more cabbage from my pan. Let's just finish it off. Okay, so we've got it spread out. This time I'm going to do some steak. Now this happens to be sirloin steak. And I usually recommend that if you're going to do steak, tenderloin is good or sirloin because they're the least fatty. And depending on what you personally feel that you need, I eat all of it. But for the best, even though it seems more expensive at the time, you're not buying the bone, you're not buying the fat, so, and you'll eat less of it. So it's a higher quality, you'll eat less. So the sirloin, if you can get a good quality sirloin, and also the tenderloin. So that's why I recommend. You can do this with pork as well. Pork tenderloins work. If you have leftover meat, you can put that in here. Again, use your imagination. Now for this, I'll go back and use a few of these carrot slices. And if I had cucumber, that's one of my favorite things. I'm really going to miss this. So cucumber, put that on your list if you can get it. A little bit of the peppers, because remember we want to have the color. And when I make a lot of it, I'll do different things, depending on time of year, what kind of vegetables that I can get. Or like I said, if I have my sprout garden going. Now here, this is the ghost sauce. I have also shown you how to make that. Again, based in the mayonnaise, you can make a big batch. It keeps like forever in your refrigerator. I'm going to put that on my steak. And then I also have a few fermented vegetables I thought might be fun to throw in. And I've shown you how to make the fermented vegetables. It's going to blend right in there with the cabbage, but it's going to give it a little nice tang. And on this one, I also have some hot sauce I'm going to just splash on there. So, you know, whatever you happen to feel like, you can do. You know, this is for you. There's no right, there's no wrong. It's okay, what I feel creative today. What's in my refrigerator? Okay, if you just saw this stuff on a plate, it wouldn't be too appetizing, but we put it together, we make it, you know, appetizing, and it's fun then. It becomes fun to eat. We've done something really nice for ourselves. Visually, it's fun. You know, it might even encourage you to reach out and maybe that coworker you've been thinking about, you know, asking for coffee or tea, you know, then maybe you might want to actually have them over and do something. Or you know what? If you bring a couple of rolls of this to your workplace, you're going to have a lot of friends really fast because they're going to want to join you. Now let's take this roll over here on our plate. And again, about 10 carbs in here. And maybe you want to add a couple more for the veggies, but not much. Let's say maybe 15. If you can eat 2 rolls of these for lunch and have somewhere around 20-25 carbs, this is really quite a bit of food when you stop and think about it. So here we go. I use a nice serrated knife. Don't get discouraged. Remember, it's all about learning. I have done this for years and years, and some days it turns out better than others. Oh, avocado. I love to put avocado in these if you can get that. I love to put, when I have it, goat cream cheese, which is excellent in here. I wish I would have thought of the avocado, but... Okay, so here we go. Now, my meat I keep a little on the rare side. Okay. It's really nice. And again, you can eat it hot, you can eat it cold, you can eat it room temperature is really the way you're supposed to eat sushi. And you have some really beautiful, nourishing food for yourself and your family. It's fun if you've got children, kids will love it. You can put in here what they like to eat. And surprisingly enough, when it looks interesting and entertaining, they'll eat more. And, you know, a lot of people say, how do I get my kids to eat vegetables? Well, here you go. This is nice. Now, if you do fish, or even if you don't, this one's a little half full, but this is coconut amino acids. This tastes a lot like soy sauce, and it's very good for you. This is also excellent on there. I have the pickled ginger. Pickled ginger I like, but it does have a lot of stuff in there I don't like. So when I have the opportunity, I'm going to get myself some organic ginger root, and I'm going to figure out how to do my own pickling. Maybe I'll do a fermented ginger, like the way that I do my my vegetables. So that's in my mind, and when I get that far, I'll try it out. I'll let you know how it goes. But I found some interesting recipes hidden in some magazines I was researching through, for fermented pickles, fermented green beans, and I thought, well, if I could do fermented green beans, then I can do fermented other things. So I'm going to be working on that and hopefully adding this, and when I figure that out, I will share it with you, because it's a lot of fun to experiment. Now, again, I don't have a lot of time, so I don't sit around and do this all day. I'm like you, I'm extremely busy, but I think in my mind and I plan a lot. And that's one thing that, again, we're going to be discussing in Medium Green Energy. I wrote about this in Decoding Your Life, is how to make the most of your psychic energy. Your psychic energy is the energy that runs your body, and it is medium green. So this is Medium Green March, Medium Green Month. We want to take care of our emotions, because when our emotions are in order, our life flows, our relationships flow, our finances flow, our health flows, wealth in all areas flow. You deserve the overall abundance, the positive abundance of the God mind. You may have experienced the negative abundance. Now you're going to be working on the positive abundance. And I want you to join me in my Medium Green blog. It's an amazing journey that we are taking, those who are participating in that. The food that we have for our mind is equivalent to what we have here for your body. So I want you to look one more time how beautiful it is. And don't you wish that you were joining me now for a taste of this? Because trust me, it's wonderful, and that's what life should be about. Life is a joy. Life is a wonder. This is a part of the God mind. It's here for you to enjoy on all levels. And it's not just for a privileged few, it is for everyone. So we're working on removing those blocks so that you too can participate in the positive abundance of the God mind in all areas of your life. Join me the next time and keep watching, because I'm working for you. Janet, Diane Mourglia-Swerdlow, expansions.com. So how good it was. Go. Mm-mm.
Hi, everybody. I'm just tasting this incredible invention, which Janet just showed you. And by the way, it was my idea to do this. So I am calling this new kind of sushi, I'm calling it Sushi, because it was my idea. So,
well, is it any good?
Oh, yeah, really, you're supposed to put the whole thing in your mouth at one time. Oh my God. It's just incredible.
So you see, I have good test tasters here.
This is absolutely incredible. I'm so glad you're not here, because then there's more for me. I love this sushi. Thank you for making it.
Yeah, you're welcome.